Alright guys, so this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from John McKinney, who asked me to do a Tarzan Aladdin crossover, which I had to rack my brain over how to do this one. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoy this, and let's get started with the video. So, more or less what this idea is that it starts off in two different times, because for those who haven't figured, who probably don't know, Aladdin existed in the 15th century. Tarzan takes place in the late 1800s. So, needless to say, we're gonna have to do some time travel. So, in this story, in the two different timelines, in the past, we have Aladdin and his friends helping a friend of the Sultan who is a treasure seeker, and essentially he's looking for one of the two pieces of this ancient crystal that is called the crystal of Kronos. And the crystal of Kronos was split into two pieces, and the other piece is said to be of lost to time. So, but whoever holds it can more or less interact with time, as the legends say. So eventually they go into the temple and they find the one half. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Tarzan and the others are all Tarzan in the quote unquote present are helping the professor with his expedition and all the little research he's been following deep into this part of the jungle where it said that half of the crystal is. So Tarzan and Aladdin both find it, and when they both touch it simultaneously in time, they both switch places. Yeah, in just a flash of light, where Aladdin once stood, Tarzan once stood, and where Tarzan once stood, now stands Aladdin. And it's a little jarring. Now, Aladdin is like, holy crap, what just Aladdin is just like, holy crap, what just happened? I was here, and who are you people? And Jane explains, she's demanding, like, who are you, and what have you done with Tarzan? He's like, I don't know who Tarzan is, and I don't know who you are. He's like, I'm Aladdin, and I just got, it feels like I got transported a good while away. But Aladdin's a lot more like, once he gets talked down, he's not like ready to fight. He's more like, okay, so I just jumped through time. I've dealt with way worse. So he's willing to accept it. Tarzan, however, being surrounded by, a talking parrot, a monkey, and a genie among the cohorts, makes him a little more angry. So Tarzan's a little more forceful in his demands as to where he is, until Jasmine manages to calm him down after realizing he's not a threat. But now she's worried, like, oh God, where's Aladdin gone? Now she's really worried that Aladdin has vanished to time. So after Jasmine explains that you must have the other half of the crystal, so if we can find a way to put the two crystal pieces together, then maybe we can put you back and bring Aladdin back to that time. And that's kind of the same thought process that Jane and the others have, and explain it to Aladdin. That doesn't exactly go well, because what happens in both times is that some evil shit happens. In Tarzan, where Aladdin and Jane and the others are, they get attacked by leopard men, and Queen Law steals that half of the chrono crystal, so they have to go to Opar to get it back. Meanwhile, Abismal steals that half, and Tarzan and the others have to go grab that half. So it's all like so they all have to go on their own little separate adventures. While this all takes place, there's some great interactions. Like, Tarzan is like, I don't understand what a genie is, but I've encountered like giant snakes and dinosaurs and other creatures, and even magic of their own. So this is, magic is, known to me. Meanwhile, in Aladdin's time, he's like, you're telling me I'm in the future? Like, Jane is explaining all the things that are going on in the future, and he's just like, wow, this is this is he's like fascinated by all that he's hearing about all these like wonders of science, and he's like, you gotta be kidding me, next you'll tell me that the earth is round. And then he's like, someone tell him. Like Jane is like, someone tell him. And he's just like all like like Aladdin's taking this all in stride, but he's like when Jane is explaining to Aladdin about La, he's like, okay, so she's Jafar, but a woman. All right, I can deal with that. Who's Jafar? Long story. So they go to the city of Opar. And Aladdin is like, you guys, did you guys know that I'm a thief? Trust me, I can get in. And sure enough, Aladdin like sneaks his way deep into the city in order to get the half of the crystal, even fighting his way through several leopard men. He's like, leopard men, wasn't expecting that, but I can roll with this. Meanwhile, in the other timeline, in the past, Tarzan and the others are tracking down Abismal, who was working on behalf of Mosenrath. Mosenrath wanted that half of the chrono crystal to alter time, because it turns out that through across time, La and Mosenrath were communicating through time through dark magic, and if they believe if they take two halves from time and put them together, both of them will have, power over time and space. And La gets a husband with Mosenrath, while Mosenrath gets all this power and a neat, a nice side piece as well. So it turns out to be the master plan. So Tarzan has to fight Mosenrath, and Aladdin has to fight La in order to get the two pieces together. Mosenrath doesn't take Tarzan seriously. He's like, if you thought I was scared of, I was not scared of the street rat. Why should I be scared of some man who grew up with a bunch of apes? And he's like, greater men have made, like Tarzan points out, greater men have made that same error, Mosenrath, and your magic doesn't scare me. And Mosenrath's like, oh yeah, why? And he's like, because I don't believe this Aladdin will kill. On the other hand, like Tarzan more or less just goes law of the jungle on him, and like just wounds him. And he's like, what? Aladdin wouldn't do that. He's like, I'm not Aladdin. And Aladdin is like just kind of tricking and he's fast on his feet while battling La. Until eventually the two halves are secured by their respective heroes, and the time crystal is merged together, allowing Aladdin and Tarzan to go back to their respective times. And before that happens, though, like Aladdin and Tarzan both point out to Jane and Jasmine that, you clearly love this person, and I hope you two can stay together for all time's sake. So they go back through their respective times, and that's the end of the adventure. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Tarzan Aladdin story. Once again, I'd like to thank John McKinney for this Patreon request and continued patronage. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this Tarzan Aladdin crossover? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And as always, and like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.